Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for August 31st. Let's take a look at the US-Japanese yen pair. This particular pair closed down today after gapping down. Did not retrace. It was 1 pip shy. There's a good chance that we'll see it retrace during this week. However, it did pull back today over 80 pips. Did pull back a little bit before the close to close just a little bit down. But nonetheless, the bias is still to the downside and it is moving lower. We are looking for this pair, if it does rally, to go to 94.09, possibly as low as 91.86 on the downside. Look for some resistance around 93.50 and look for some support around 92.50. Now, switching to the Euro-USD pair, this particular pair closed up. It is definitely moving sideways within a range. We are looking for this pair to continue moving sideways with a bias that is sideways. If it does rally, look for price at 144.52, possibly on the downside around 141.77. Look for some resistance around 140.400 and look for some support around 142.50 in this particular pair. Now, switching to the pound US dollar pair, this particular pair closed up today. It has started to move sideways, definitely has a bias to the downside. Look for this pair to move as high as 164.34, possibly as low as 160.69. Look for some resistance around 163.72 and look for some support around 161.75 in this pair. Now, switching to the US Swiss, this particular pair closed down today. It is moving sideways with the bias that is sideways. However, that could change very rapidly to the downside. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. Look for this pair to potentially go as high as 1.0702, possibly as low as 10487. Look for some resistance around 10616 and look for some support around 1.0550. Now, as far as what's going on news announcement wise, we have the Australian Reserve Bank, the Reserve Bank of Australia, releasing the interest rate decisions at 12:30 a.m. Eastern Time tonight. Consensus is they're going to hold at 3%. Now, around 1:45 a.m., we have the Swiss releasing their GDP results for the second quarter. Year to date, they're showing a decline from negative 2.4% down to negative 3%, which of course would be negative news for the Swiss. The second quarter data moving from negative 0.8% to negative 1%. So there again, that would be negative news. If it's worse than expected, of course, that could influence the Swiss against some of the other pairs. Now, the U.S. has their ISM manufacturing for August being released. Consensus says it has improved from 48.9 to 50.5. That's being released at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, looking ahead a little bit further into the day, we have at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we have the Australians releasing their gross domestic product for the second quarter, and that's currently at 0.4%, moving as high as 0.6%. Now, the year to date, we have that moving from 0.4% to 0.7%. So if these numbers hold, it would be good news for the US dollar. Now, what am I looking for during this next session as far as trades? Take a look at the Euro Pound pair. This pair has created 2 inside bars, 1 inside bar, and then today another inside bar. Look for a breakout below the low. If it moves to the downside, I'm looking for it to move about 114 pips, possibly look for it to look at around the 70 mark to go to break even. Then a little bit further down the road, we have around the 115 mark, I would look to exit. Don't know if that'll happen in one day. Obviously, it took several days for that to occur, but if we get a pullback of that amount, we could see it happen over the next couple of days. double inside bars, we're definitely going to get a breakout in one direction or the other. I like the upside or the downside better than the upside as far as looking for support and resistance. I feel a little more comfortable with it. So, you could go obviously both directions with this. If we do go to the upside, we have about 100 pips till we hit 50 to 100 pips. 50, we hit some previous support that would now be resistance, and that was resistance here, support here. Go a little bit higher, we find some support that would now be resistance at around the 90 mark, and then it could go up a little bit higher to each level. But I like the downside potential for this better than the upside. That's just a personal choice. Take a look at both and determine your risk to reward ratio. But this double bar inside or double inside bar setup is one definitely take note of. Well, that about does it for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.